I, 49F, was married to Derek, 49M, for 20 years before our divorce 3 months ago. We have 2 kids, Emma, 22F, and Lucas, 17M. Last week, my entire world came crashing down when I discovered Derek had been having a 2-year affair with his assistant. But what destroyed me even more was finding out Emma knew about it the whole time and actively helped hide it from me. I need to provide some background about our family first. Derek and I met in college, got married right after graduation, and had Emma within the first year. We struggled financially at first, but Derek built his accounting firm from scratch while I worked as a high school teacher to support us. Lucas came 5 years later, and we finally felt like our family was complete. Emma was always Daddy's little girl. From the moment she could walk, she followed Derek everywhere. He took her to work sometimes, taught her about business, and they shared this special bond I sometimes envied. Don't get me wrong, Emma and I were close too. We had our weekly shopping trips, baking sessions, and she would come to me with boy problems. But Derek was her hero. Everything started falling apart 3 months ago. My laptop broke down, and I needed to send an urgent email to my principal about a student situation. Emma was home from college for the weekend and had left her laptop on the kitchen counter while she went grocery shopping with Lucas. I opened her laptop, planning to just quickly check my email. That's when I saw it. She had forgotten to log out of her social media messenger, and there was an open chat with Derek. The most recent message caught my eye. "Sorry, Dad, I couldn't cover for you yesterday. Mom almost caught on when she called your office and Sarah picked up." My hands were shaking as I scrolled up through their chat history. Message after message of them coordinating lies. Emma helping Derek delete text before I could see them. Her making excuses for why he missed family dinners. Her agreeing to tell me they went to movies together when he was actually with Sarah. There were even messages about Emma meeting Sarah a few times to keep their secret. The worst part was reading how casual their conversations were about deceiving me. They joked about close calls and shared tips for better hiding things. Emma even helped pick out a birthday gift for Sarah using my credit card. Derek had told me it was a client appreciation gift. Looking back now, there were so many signs I ignored. Emma started acting strange around age 17. She would get defensive whenever I asked about Derek's late nights at work. Our weekly mother-daughter lunches became less frequent because she always had some excuse. Once, I found women's perfume on Derek's jacket and Emma quickly said she had borrowed it to try out different scents at the mall. I waited until Emma returned from grocery shopping and confronted her with the messages. She broke down immediately, crying about how she caught them together at Derek's office last year. She had stopped by to surprise him for lunch and found them kissing. Instead of telling me, she let Derek convince her that revealing the affair would destroy our family. When I confronted Derek that night, he didn't even try to deny it. Sarah was his 30-year-old assistant who he'd been seeing for 2 years. They met at a business conference, started flirting, and things progressed from there. He claimed he fell in love with her but couldn't bear to hurt me by asking for a divorce. So instead, he enlisted our teenage daughter to help hide his infidelity. The divorce was finalized quickly since Derek wanted to move in with Sarah. I kept our family home where Lucas still lives with me. Emma is away at college but comes home some weekends. Every time I see her, I feel this crushing weight of betrayal. She tries to act like everything is normal, brings me little gifts, suggests we go shopping like old times. But all I can think about are those messages, how calculated and deliberate her deception was. Last week, Emma came home unexpectedly after her Friday classes. She found me crying in the kitchen and tried to have a heart-to-heart. She went on about how she was just trying to protect me, that she was young and scared and didn't know what to do. But I couldn't even look at her. All I could see was her helping pick out gifts for her father's mistress using my own credit card. To make matters worse, Lucas overheard me telling my sister about Emma's involvement and now refuses to speak to his sister. He idolized Emma, always bragging about his smart big sister who got into a good college. Finding out she helped destroy our family has crushed him. Emma keeps trying to call and text him, but he ignores her completely. Derek had the nerve to call and yell at me for turning Lucas against Emma. He said I was being vindictive by telling Lucas the truth. This coming from the man who used our teenage daughter to help maintain his affair. I hung up on him mid-rant. I've started seeing someone new, James, 41M. He's kind, honest, and treats me with respect. But Emma saw photos of us together on social media and completely lost it. She called crying, saying I was trying to replace our family and being cruel by moving on so quickly. Meanwhile, Derek openly dates Sarah, takes her to family events, and no one says a word about it. My sister thinks I should forgive Emma since she was young and manipulated by her father. She keeps reminding me that Emma was only 17 when she found out, legally still a child. But I can't forget how she looked me in the eye day after day while actively helping hide the affair. This wasn't just keeping quiet about something she discovered, she actively participated in the deception for 2 years. Some days I miss my daughter terribly. I miss our shopping trips, our movie nights, how she would crawl into my bed during thunderstorms even as a teenager. But then I remember those messages, how she helped plan date nights for her father and his mistress, how she used my own credit card to buy gifts for the woman who helped destroy my marriage. The pain feels fresh all over again. I don't know how to move forward from this. How do you forgive your child for helping destroy your marriage? How do you rebuild trust after such a deep betrayal? Some family members say I'm being too harsh, that Emma was just a kid caught between her parents. But she wasn't caught between us, she actively chose her father's side and helped him betray me for years. Update 1: Things have gotten much worse since my last post. Last night around 11 p.m., Emma showed up at my front door completely drunk. Her eyes were red and puffy from crying, her makeup was smeared, and she could barely stand straight. I almost didn't let her in, but she started sobbing so loudly I worried the neighbors would call the police. Lucas was staying at a friend's house for a gaming night, so I let her come inside. She stumbled to the couch, the same couch where we used to have our movie nights, where I would braid her hair while we watched rom-coms. But last night, she sat there like a stranger, clutching a half-empty water bottle I'm pretty sure wasn't filled with water. What she told me next made me wish I had left her outside. Through her drunken tears, Emma confessed that she didn't just know about the affair, she was actually the one who helped set up Derek and Sarah's first date. Apparently, Sarah had been Emma's calculus tutor in high school. They got close during their tutoring sessions, and Emma started seeing Sarah as a big sister figure. Emma said she noticed how unhappy Derek seemed in our marriage. According to her, he would come home looking defeated, barely smile at dinner, and spend most evenings in his home office. I wanted to scream that he was probably texting Sarah during those times, but I let her continue. She said Sarah reminded her of a younger version of me, someone who laughed easily and enjoyed life. Just like I used to before I got trapped in this marriage, according to my daughter's warped perspective. So my brilliant daughter came up with a plan. She convinced Sarah to help her surprise Derek with lunch at his office, knowing they would hit it off. She chose a day when I was chaperoning a school field trip, so there was no chance I would find out. Emma said she just wanted them to be friends at first, thought maybe Sarah could help Derek find his smile again. But it went further than that. Emma gave Sarah advice about Derek's interests and preferences. She told her about his favorite restaurants, what kind of movies he liked, even what cologne he wore. She practically wrote a user manual for dating her father and handed it to his future mistress. When things progressed beyond friendship, Emma claimed she felt trapped. She couldn't tell me without admitting her role in starting it all. So she convinced herself that helping them hide the affair was better than exposing her own involvement. She said she would lay awake at night feeling guilty, but then Derek would tell her how happy he was, and she would convince herself she had done the right thing. What makes it worse is that Lucas was home playing video games in his room when Emma started her drunken confession. He must have heard her voice and came downstairs just in time to hear everything. He completely lost it. I have never seen my son so angry. He started screaming at Emma, calling her a traitor and a horrible sister. That's when another bomb dropped. In defending herself, Emma accidentally revealed that this wasn't even Derek's first affair. 3 years ago, she caught him having an emotional affair with a client named Rebecca. She found inappropriate texts on his phone when he asked her to help him set up his new iPhone. Instead of telling me, Emma confronted Derek about Rebecca. She convinced him to end it and they made a pact never to tell me. She really thought she was protecting our family by handling it quietly. Finding this out made me physically ill. All those times she talked about how close she and Derek were, they were actually bonding over keeping his affairs secret from me. James came over during all this because I had texted him earlier about Emma showing up drunk. This sent Emma into another meltdown. She started screaming about how I was trying to replace Derek too quickly, how I clearly never really loved her father if I could move on so easily. She kept saying if I had been a better wife, Derek wouldn't have needed Sarah. I finally snapped. I told her she gave up any right to judge my choices when she actively helped destroy my marriage. I told her that a good daughter doesn't play matchmaker for her father's affair partner. The look on her face was devastating, but I couldn't stop. Years of betrayal came pouring out. This morning, Derek called to yell at me for making Emma cry. Apparently, she called him after leaving my house. He actually tried to defend her actions, saying she was just being a loving daughter by helping him find happiness. He said I should be grateful she cared enough about his well-being to help him connect with Sarah. Then Sarah had the absolute audacity to text me. She said I should be thankful Emma introduced us because Derek is so much happier now. She actually wrote that their relationship was a gift Emma gave our family. The same woman who let my daughter help plan dates with her married father now wants to lecture me about family values. I'm completely done with all of them. I blocked Derek and Sarah's numbers. When Emma started sending paragraph-long apology texts, I blocked her too. Lucas is staying with my sister for a few days because he can't stand being in the house right now. He says everything reminds him of Emma's betrayal. James has been incredibly supportive through all this, but I can tell the family drama is weighing on him too. Last night, after everyone left, he held me while I cried and promised we would get through this together. But how do you get through finding out your daughter actively played matchmaker for your husband's affair? How do you move past knowing she gave another woman tips on how to steal your husband? I feel like I'm losing my entire family, but maybe they were never really mine to begin with. Emma chose Derek over me years ago. I just didn't know it then. Update 2: I discovered something yesterday that turned everything I thought I knew upside down. I was cleaning out the storage room, trying to pack away old family photos and memorabilia because seeing them every day just hurt too much. Behind some boxes, I found Emma's old diary from when she was 17. It was hidden behind a loose panel, like she wanted to make sure no one would find it. I know reading it was wrong. I sat there for almost an hour just staring at it, debating whether I should open it. But after everything that happened, I needed answers. I needed to understand how my daughter could do this to me. What I found inside shattered my heart all over again, but for completely different reasons. The diary revealed that Derek had been emotionally abusing Emma for years, using manipulation and guilt to control her. The first entry about his affairs was from when she discovered the messages from Rebecca. She wrote about how scared and confused she felt, how she wanted to tell me immediately. But when she confronted Derek, he broke down crying. He told Emma that I was mentally fragile, that I had been treated for depression years ago, a complete lie, and that discovering his affair would push me over the edge. He showed her articles about people who had mental breakdowns after divorces. He made her promise not to tell me, saying she would be responsible if anything happened to me. When she caught him with Sarah a year later, Derek already knew exactly how to manipulate her. He cried again, telling Emma that Mom just didn't love him anymore, that I was cold and distant. He said he had tried everything to make our marriage work, but I just pushed him away. He would tell her stories about how lonely and miserable he was, making her feel guilty for even thinking about exposing him. The most heartbreaking entries were about her panic attacks. She wrote about throwing up in the school bathroom after lying to me about Derek's whereabouts. She had thoughts about hurting herself because the guilt was eating her alive. Whenever she seemed close to breaking down and telling me, Derek would remind her about Lucas. He told her that children of divorce were more likely to drop out of school, get into drugs, or worse. He made her believe she would be destroying her brother's future if she told me the truth. There were pages about how Sarah would buy her gifts and take her shopping, trying to win her over. Derek encouraged their friendship, telling Emma that Sarah could be like a big sister to her. He was grooming our daughter to accept his affair partner while using her as a shield to hide his infidelity from me. I confronted Derek about what I found. He came over to pick up some old tax documents and I showed him the diary. At first, he tried to deny everything, saying Emma was always dramatic and probably exaggerated things. But when I started reading specific entries out loud, his whole demeanor changed. He admitted that he might have been a bit manipulative but tried to justify it. He said he was protecting everyone from getting hurt. According to him, it was better for Emma to help him maintain the affair quietly than to deal with a messy divorce. He actually believed he was being a good father by involving her in his deception. Sarah was with him in the car and came to his defense. She said Derek was just doing his best in a difficult situation. She even suggested that involving Emma in their relationship was good for her, giving her a mature perspective on adult relationships. I was so angry I could barely speak. They had twisted everything so much they actually believed they were helping Emma by making her complicit in their affair. Emma doesn't know I found her diary. She's still not speaking to me, and honestly, I'm glad because I don't know what to say to her. All this time I've been angry at her for betraying me, but she was just a scared teenager being manipulated by her father. The rage I felt towards her has completely shifted to Derek. Lucas came home yesterday. He's still processing everything, but seeing those diary entries changed his perspective too. He asked if we could try family therapy, just him, Emma, and me. No, Derek allowed. I agreed because even though I'm still hurt, I understand now that Emma was a victim too. Derek keeps calling, probably because he knows I found the diary. I blocked his new number. Sarah posted some long rant on social media about how people shouldn't judge situations they don't understand, but I blocked her too. I'm done letting them manipulate any of us. I haven't decided if I should tell Emma I read her diary. Part of me thinks she deserves to know that I finally understand what she went through, but another part worries it might just traumatize her more to know her private thoughts were read. For now, I'm focusing on processing my own feelings about everything I discovered. The betrayal still hurts, but now I see it wasn't just my daughter betraying me, it was her father betraying both of us in different ways. Update 3. After weeks of debating what to do about Emma's diary, I finally decided to tell her about finding it. I invited her over while Lucas was at soccer practice. She seemed nervous walking into the house, probably expecting another confrontation. Instead, I showed her the diary. She turned pale the moment she saw it. Her hands were shaking as she looked through the pages. Then she broke down completely. Through her tears, she told me everything she had been too ashamed to say before. She's been in therapy for months, trying to process the psychological damage Derek did to her. She showed me years of threatening texts from Derek that she had saved. Messages warning her that I was unstable and would have a breakdown if I knew the truth. Texts reminding her how divorce would ruin Lucas's life. Even recent messages telling her not to reveal certain things because I wouldn't be able to handle it. The worst part was learning about the gifts. Apparently, Derek would buy her expensive presents every time she helped cover for him: new phones, designer bags, even her first car. He made her feel obligated to help him by creating this cycle of guilt and rewards. When she would try to pull away, he would remind her of everything he had given her and how ungrateful she was being. While we were talking, Derek somehow found out about our meeting. He showed up at my house completely drunk, screaming about how I had turned his daughter against him. He kept saying Emma was lying about everything, that she had wanted to help him and Sarah get together. Lucas had come home early from practice and recorded the whole thing on his phone. Lucas sent the video to our entire family WhatsApp group. Finally, everyone saw Derek's true nature. His mask completely slipped as he ranted about how Emma owed him loyalty because he was the one who made her special, not me. Sarah saw the video too and apparently broke up with him, realizing she had been manipulated just like Emma. Some family members started sharing their own stories. My sister-in-law admitted Derek had tried to manipulate my niece similarly when she caught him with Sarah at a family event. He had bought her silence with promises of paying for her college. His own sister revealed he had done similar things in high school, using her to cover for him when he cheated on girlfriends. Emma and I are slowly trying to rebuild our relationship. The trust isn't completely back, that will take time. But now we're both in individual therapy and starting family therapy with Lucas next week. Lucas is still angry but understanding more about how Derek manipulated everyone. Derek keeps trying to contact us through different numbers and fake social media accounts. He switches between apologizing and threatening to tell everyone what a terrible mother I was. We've all blocked him and saved his messages as evidence in case we need a restraining order. Some extended family members think we're being too harsh. They say Derek is still the kid's father and deserves another chance. But they didn't see what he did to Emma, how he twisted her mind and used her love for him as a weapon. I won't let him hurt my children anymore. James has been incredibly patient through all of this. He understands that healing our family has to come first. Emma is transferring to a college closer to home next semester, her choice, not mine. She says she wants to be near family while she works through everything in therapy. We have a long road ahead of us. The trust issues don't just disappear because we understand why they happened. But at least now we're dealing with the truth instead of secrets. I'm focusing on helping my children heal from their father's manipulation while trying to heal myself. Derek made his choices. Now he has to live with the consequences of losing his entire family.